Turn with me, if you would, to Genesis chapter 9. Genesis chapter 9. And we'll cover verses 20 through 24. Once you have it, say, I have it. Here we go. And Noah began to be a husbandman, and he planted a vineyard. He drank of the wine and was drunken. He was uncovered within his tent. Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brethren without. Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon both their shoulders and went backwards and covered the nakedness of their father. And their faces were backwards. And they saw not their father's nakedness. And Noah awoke from his wine and knew what his younger son had done unto him. I want to give you your message entitlement for this morning, Full Disclosure. Take your seats. Now, Genesis 6 records that Noah was perfect amongst his generations. Perfect amongst his generations. That means amongst his contemporaries, those that were in his times. Because those that were in his times, they were corrupted. Chapter 6 tells us that all the world had gone corrupted and it was filled with violence. And here you have a world that is corrupted and filled with violence. But you have one man who says, I don't have to be corrupted, though everything and everyone around me is. It doesn't matter what situation you find yourself in, you don't have to be affected by your environment. I've stood on it for years, and I stand on it even more now that those who say that they are saved, you cannot possibly be a product of your environment. You can't possibly be, because you would be an example in the wrong and negative fashion. You would be just another statistic. Amen. We would be like the wicked if we were products of our environment, because we live in a world that is not righteous. Does that make sense? So we don't have to be products of our environments. We can be different even amongst our contemporaries, because here we have a man who found favor in the middle of wickedness. Interesting. Noah was perfect, which is to say complete and sound. He found grace in the midst of wickedness. The flood left Noah as the overseer of a different world. Everybody else is gone. It's Noah and his family. Now, we already know that we're dealing with a patriarchal society, but he is the eldest there. So he's leader by de facto, right? He's a de facto leader. So he's the father of the family. He's the leader of that family. So in essence, we can see him as the leader, the overseer of this new world. He's now the example to be followed. That's where he finds himself. The flood also left Noah in a precarious situation because he was left peerless. Who does Noah have to talk to now? What other man can he talk to that'll be on his level? What other 600-year-old man can he speak with? Saying, do you remember when? Can you understand where I'm coming from? Because all he has is his wife, and he has his sons, and he has their family, but there's no one on his level. Not because he ostracized everybody from his level, but that's just the situation that he finds himself in. So he's peerless. I wonder, was Ham looking to find a defect in a man who was considered perfect? Scripture says that he was perfect in all your ways. Now, see, I want to bring this home, and I want to bring it to your front door, because there are some people that they've been told the story of you. And the story of you is you're perfect. Now you know better. But we know that the word perfect does not mean flawless. The word means complete and sound. So they see you as a complete and sound individual. And they have animosity towards your persona, who you are and how people view you to be. And so it seems as if sometimes that people are waiting on opportunities to embarrass you. They may not say it, it may not come out, but the truth will arise eventually. I wonder, was he looking for a defect? Come on, I want to talk to a couple real people up in here. How many people have ever had relationships with somebody who was just looking for you to mess up? You didn't even realize it's like they just been around you. They've been like, I thought we was cool. This is his son now. This ain't no stranger that just done, wallied into his life. This is his son. So even those that are close to you sometimes will still be looking to implicate you. They're waiting for you to have a fault. Now check this out. If we understand anything about the earth, if you look for fault, then you're trying to find a shift. Say that again. If we understand anything about the earth, if you're looking for a fault line, then you're looking for a shift. You're expecting something to move. I don't want to mess with that. So I want to deal with the fruit of intoxication. Y'all all right? The fruit of intoxication. Now the text says Noah drank of the wine and was drunken and was uncovered. This is indecent exposure. Now, truth be told, we must be careful how we handle the harvest. Y'all thought I was about to mess with Ham, weren't y'all? We have to be careful how we handle a harvest. Let me say that one more time for everybody that just came out of Sukkot. You got to be careful how you handle a harvest. Does that make sense to anybody? We must understand any substance produced can be abused. Any substance produced can be abused. So what had happened is the grapes are not the problem. The fruit in and of itself isn't the problem. It's what you did with the fruit. So I got a question for you this morning, church. What are you doing with the fruit? So we don't know the exacts of, because this is actually the first time that we run into the word wine. Now, it might have existed before time. Chances are that it did. But this is what we run into it. And wine is as he became. Now, we know that husbandry was the first occupation in the world. So this growing things ain't something new. Adam put us in that predicament, didn't he? He probably was talking about Adam while he was getting that joker together. Oh, Adam, man, I could have been walking and this stuff could have been good. But now, Adam, now I got to work by the sweat of my brow. And he planted a vineyard. And when he planted the vineyard, he decided to do something with the fruit. Whether he knew what it was going to do to him or not, he made his own decisions. So he pressed the wine. And then he drank the wine. Now, I don't know about any of you, anybody that's done, took a taste. I ain't going to call nobody drunk, but, anybody that's done had a taste, I don't want you to go back too far now. But if you done had a taste, after a while, you start realizing that something is happening, but that's why it's a whole misnomer. Now, I'm glad I haven't seen the commercial in a while, but y'all remember that thing that said no when to say when? How can you possibly know when to say when and you're inebriated? When? I'm winning. Never mind. Not at all. No, you're not going to be able to tell. So we got to take heed that overindulgence attracts exploitation. Any kind of overindulgence, not just intoxicants, because we can look at this and easily try and find fault. No, you shouldn't have been getting drunk. Yeah, truth may be told, he shouldn't have been getting drunk, but he was. Like you have never been intoxicated in your life. I've never touched alcohol. Oh, you've been intoxicated. I've never done drugs in my entire life. You've been intoxicated. You know what pride is? Intoxication. Pride will have you acting out all out. Ask the devil about pride. Pride will have you all out of sorts, right? Arrogance will have you all out of sorts. So you've been intoxicated. You got a little power. Power is an intoxicant if you work with it the wrong way. Power can be a thing that can be helpful, but it also can be a thing that is problematic. That makes sense? So it can be problematic. So sometimes what we do is what we're doing with the fruit. The power ain't the issue. It's what did you do with the power? Right? The grapes weren't the issue. What did you do with the grapes? The harvest wasn't the issue. You should have been celebrating, but you took that celebration a little bit too far. All that work just to get wasted. Let me say it again. All that work just to get wasted. I'll come back in. Come on, sir. Now, even though overindulgence attracts exploitation, let it be known that this does not justify a violation of any kind. Now, just because somebody slips up doesn't mean that now people should creep up. And isn't it funny how in our society, and if we look around, it seems like people get built up just for the fall. It's like you want them to get built up, and it's like, oh, because all I say, our society loves a car crash, right? It's like we just look for the accident. We slow down. Makes me upset. I talk about it all the time. I'm trying to get home. I'm trying to get where I'm going. Y'all want to sit up here and rubberneck. Can you help the situation? If you cannot help the situation and they are not related to you, why in the world are you snowing down to everybody else? Because you nosy. I wonder what happened over there. Then you put all kind of stuff in your mind. Instead of being like, man, I hope everybody's all right. I wonder what they did. Can't drive anyhow. Don't let them have a plate from whatever state you don't like. Because whatever state you don't like, they can't drive. Whatever nationality you don't like, they can't drive. Period. Don't make no sense. Oh, them out-of-towners. You know what they be saying when you be out of town? Oh, them out-of-towners. Ain't that how we do each other? Right? But regardless to the hows and whys of Noah's drunkenness, he was within his tent. This is the thing that starts to get me about him. Okay, he's drunk. Ain't nothing we can do about that, right? It happened. But he's within his tent. He's within his tent. We cannot presume the circumstances that brought him into his father's tent. I don't know what kind of regular access because I'm not trying to create something in the text, but literally pull out the principles that are within it. I don't know the circumstances of why Ham was in his father's tent. I know that I can go I have a key to my father's house. My natural father, I have a key to his house. If I want to go to his house, open up the door and go inside, I have the key. So I cannot say that Ham didn't have a key to his father's tent. Now, I know that they didn't have doors on the tent. I ain't slow like that, y'all. Never mind. See, people like, hey, you know they have. Never mind. It was a curtain, bruh. Curtain. Anyway, but whatever the scenario was, he found himself in the tent. Now, here's the thing. I don't know whether when he first walked in, he saw what he shouldn't have seen. Because once you've seen, right? If your eyes was in the area and something happened, you cannot act as if you didn't see it. The sight wasn't the issue. The sight wasn't the issue. So whether he saw it intentionally or whether he saw it accidentally, that's not where the issue began to compound itself. So it's not what you see. Say, it's not what I see. It's what you do with what you see. It's what you do with what you see. That makes sense? So he had access. But access should be entered with respect. Access should be entered with respect. If I have keys, anybody have keys in somebody else's house and you still knock on the door? Huh? I have keys to my mother's house. And I know that they're home. They didn't ask me to check on them. I'm checking on them, right? I got keys. Why in the world am I going to walk up to somebody's house who I have keys to and ring the doorbell and wait for them to answer the door? I've got access. I got keys. They probably wouldn't really mind if I came in that way. But I have better decency than that. I got access, but that don't mean that I just enter when I want to. Does that make sense? My parents used to have a rule when we grew up. We didn't go into their room. You hear me? You go to the threshold of their door, you stop like that joker was like, skirt! You could be running. You could be 3 years old. Skirt! You don't go in there. Hey, their bedroom was the holiest of holies as far as we was concerned. You understand me? Oh, no, that's what the Ark of the Covenant is. I am not no priest, and I don't have a rope around my waist. Nope. Okay. If I go in there, ain't no telling if I ever come out alive. And they didn't have to close their door. Because why? We knew. Woo! This is why I stopped. I live here, and I still got to ask permission to get into, never mind, let me say this one more time. I live here, and I still have to have permission to go in there. There's some places that we live, but we think because we have access that we have automatic entrance. Just because I have access to his life don't mean that I enter his life whenever I want to. We good friends. I don't just pop up over his house like, hey, buddy, got something for me? You done lost your ever-loving mind, right? Because when we get comfortable, we start to do some crazy things. I remember one time I was in the military, and I was in one of my good friends' house. He had good furniture, right? He sat me down. His wife was Latin, had cooked up some eggs with some little green beans, and I ain't never had eggs with green beans. And I was like, it was good too. I looked at it just like you did. I said, this looks strange, but man, they had little string beans in it. They had some black, some of y'all getting hungry, but they had a little black beans, and they had some rice and had some good sausage with them. I'm sitting there like, whoa, boy, it's finna be good. And it was. You hear me? That food was good. And it was so good that I got careless. I got full and stupid. Come on here. And so what I did was, in this man's good furniture, anybody know what mother of pearl is? It's like black furniture. They used to have the little stuff on it. So I sat in this man's chair in the house that he let me into, having ate his food. I sat in the chair and I rocked back on the back 2 legs. He said, have you lost your mind? Don't get so comfortable that you become disrespectful. This man let me into his house. He fed me his food. He sat me down at his table, but then I began to abuse the situation because I got too comfortable and I forgot where I was. So don't have entrance to somebody's life and then forget where you are. Let me say that one more time. Don't have interest into somebody's life and then forget where you are. Make sense? I was giving the example a little while ago. I said, even though you could be in a marriage situation, I'm married to my wife, but I just can't bombard her whenever I want to. But her body is mine and my body is hers. That don't mean that you just, you don't violate. Does that make sense? You don't violate. If you into the relationship so that you can take advantage of people, then you didn't get into it for the right reasons. Huh? It made no sense. You just didn't want to burn. That's what was wrong with you. You didn't really love. You just didn't want to burn. Let me say it one more time. You didn't really love. You just didn't want to burn. Anyway. Y'all better listen to Usher and let it burn. Anyway. Anyway, y'all all right? Right relationship does not pursue infringement or embarrassment. Right relationship does not pursue infringement or embarrassment. So when you have right relationship, you're not looking to infringe or impose your will upon anybody. Does that make sense? I don't impose my will just because, we got relationships, so you ought to listen to me. God doesn't even do that. He says, here's my will. Here's my will. Take it or leave it. Amen? Sometimes when he gives you the will, you don't want to do the will and you have to have a nevertheless. Right? But he gives you the opportunity to choose his will or another way. So he does that. So how dare we, human beings made a little bit below the angels, sit up here and demand that somebody do our will? You out of place and you done lost your mind. Amen. Now get this. Opportunity will reveal motives. Opportunity will reveal motives. Ham saw the nakedness of his father and told his brethren without. He told both of them, he said, man, look, can I paint a picture for you? He done came into the thing. You know, what he really wants to do, he wants to bring a reproach to his father. That's what he wants to do. I mean, it's quite obvious. We'll deal with that in a minute. But he got access to it. However he got access, however he found himself into it. And he saw something that he shouldn't have seen. And he could have aided the situation. He could have protected his father. He could have covered his father, but he didn't choose to cover his father. He said, nah, I'm going to expose you. I'm going to let everybody see how drunk you really are. You might have never been drunk a day in your life before, but I'm going to show everybody. You might have never made a misstep before. You might have never did nothing in error that really put your business out the street before, but now I got you. Now you done messed up now. You done messed up now. Caught you. Watch this here. Let me go get my partners. Hey, bro. Daddy there over there in the ticket, man. He in the tent, man. He drunk. He lit. He tore up, bro. He tossed. He tipsy. He knocked out, man. That old man can't even handle his liquor, man. No, maybe they didn't talk like that back in that day, but he can't even handle his drink, man. Come in here and look at this old fool laid down in this tent. Now, the text doesn't tell you all that. That's me. But he went and got his brothers. Because some of y'all going to be telling a story. Yeah, he said that fool. That ain't in the Bible. But anyway, so he goes against his brothers. And his brothers are like, wow, man. I don't know what made you think that we was going to be a part of your scenario, but not so much. But he went and got his brothers. Noah was incapacitated and inappropriate. We can agree to that, right? It's inappropriate. But he was momentarily out of it, not himself. Anybody, now again, maybe you never did any kind of drug, but you've been intoxicated. Maybe you never drunk any kind of liquor, but you've been intoxicated. So let me put it on grounds that maybe something that you can identify with. Has anybody ever been out of it? Some of y'all been sober and been out of it. You've been all the way awoke and been out of it. And what I mean by out of it is simply this. It's just that you just weren't yourself. Something happened, could have been tragedy, could have been, well, you were just out. Anybody ever been out of it? Just staying off in the night and people talking to you, you don't even hear them because you're in your own world. You incapacitated. You just so intoxicated by the moment or whatever's going on, whatever drama, whatever scenarios are going in your head, you just out of it. I'm not talking about focus, that's different, but I'm talking about out of it. Anybody ever been out of it? Whatever happened to you, you just out of it. Now, man, this guy's out of it. So we got to take caution that a moment out of it may unconsciously unveil a private matter. Being out of it may unconsciously unveil a private matter because when you're not yourself, certain details come out about you. Certain underlying things come out about you. Or certain things that you meant to be private. I don't believe that Noah meant to be uncovered. But whatever that drink was doing to him, had him to be disrobed in his tent in wide open where anybody could walk in, right? But now this stuff is exposed and this is how it left him. Does that make sense? So sometimes being out of it will unveil a power. Anybody been really sensitive or had something happen to you and you was really just sensitive and the things that had happened to you just made you start telling too much? You was out of it. You would never let anybody know that. You would have never told anybody that thing that happened to you. But now because you're out of it, you telling everything. You spilling everything. I want to talk to a couple of people in the room. Have you ever just been in a scenario where you start telling stuff that you wouldn't normally tell anybody? Because of what had happened to you, say, I was out of it. You was out of it. Whatever had happened, now you telling it, you can't hush your mouth. Because you just want to get it out your system. You just, It's all coming out now. It's all coming out now. But it might unveil a private matter. Now, aberrations, because Noah's character, he found grace in the sight of God. So we know that his character must have been pretty good. To find grace, To find grace, his character had to be, we ain't saying flawless, but he had to be. He was better than his contemporaries. We know that much. So there had to be something about Noah to where God was like, he found grace in his sight. So there had to be something about Noah, but here Noah is drunken, out of it. So this most likely was an aberration, but aberrations are not condonable. We can't condone, just because you out of it, I can't condone you acting out of character. I know you had a moment, but I can't condone it. That makes sense? You had a moment. But if you did the wrong thing or you were somehow inappropriate, I cannot now allow and say you haven't been inappropriate. But here's the thing, compassion is always in order. Does that make sense? Just because somebody was out of it, I'm not telling you to condone it and say it was all right. I'm not condoning the inappropriate. But I'm saying I'm going to have compassion though this is inappropriate. Because sometimes you've been angry. Anybody ever acted out in anger? You said some things that you didn't really mean. There was a part of you that meant it now. That's why I came out. But you didn't really want to say that, but it came out. And now you're like, it came out. That's how I felt at the moment. It might be some underlying stuff. It came out. But, could you work with me and help me? Don't look at me that way. I had a moment. Can you work with me? Right? Now, we ain't going to sit up there like, no, calling me whatever you called me was cool. No, that was inappropriate. But I can have compassion because compassion is always in order. That makes sense? I can have compassion, be like, you know what? I probably did that at some point in time in my life. And you know what? I've probably done some inappropriate things and people had to give me not a pass, but have understanding, have compassion for me. Say, I got to have compassion. Got to have compassion. Got to have it. Compassion is always in order. And besides, what is the benefit of scrutiny? Really, think about that. What is the benefit of scrutiny? You sitting here telling everybody what's wrong. Well, what's the benefit of scrutiny? Ham's brothers had the opportunity. We're talking about opportunity, right? Ham's brothers had the opportunity to conform with him. Right? They could have jumped in the bandwagon and be like, look at daddy. Telling us, and when you find somebody else done did fault, you want to go over all the stuff that they done try to correct you over. You know how he was telling us that we shouldn't get outside ourselves? Look at him. Always trying to tell us what to do. Look at him. What you gonna tell us now? When you don't like correction, boy, look at here. Let you find fault in that person that's been corrective towards you, you gonna, boy, you can't wait. Yes, it's my day today. Look at you. How you going to tell me anything and you drunk? Time about something you raised me. I tell you what, you going to raise me to be drunk? I don't want to be drunk like you. Look at you old drunk. Ain't no sense. Going off. This is what's going on. They had the same opportunity to make the situation worse, right? Instead, somebody say instead. Instead, they sought recovery and not injury. Opportunity will reveal motives. Are you looking to injure or are you looking to recover? It doesn't matter. Every situation, because there are some opportunities that on the other side of that opportunity is not a good thing. Some doors open and you don't need to walk through those doors, but every opportunity will reveal your motives. Because sometimes the devil will present you with opportunities. You know that, right? It's an opportunity to sin. Won't nobody know? It's just me. So good opportunities will reveal your motives. Are you a coward or do you have courage? Opportunities are going to reveal your motives. Opportunities are going to reveal who you are at that moment. Does that make sense? Because sometimes anybody ever been talking about you? Or somebody been talking about somebody you know in front of you? And you was like, you got the wrong one, partner. I don't care what they did. You ain't going to talk about them like they crazy in front of my face. That ain't finna happen. Okay, they did that. Well, let's go talk to them and let's work this out. But no, we know that ain't always what happened. Oh, let's go get somebody else and bring them over to the situation. Oh, you know what so-and-so did? Y'all having whole conferences about what so-and-so did. I think we might do that. We might have a so-and-so conference. Never mind. It's going to be a bash fest. We just going to mess up everybody. We're going to tell everybody nasty. No, we ain't going to do that for real. But it seems like that's what we do even in church. It's supposed to, soon as church is out, they already having their bash fest. Look at this one over here. Oh, she going to come to church today after what she did? I can't even believe dude acting like that. He acting like he went with Shorty last night. I seen him. Right? And that's what we doing. Is that what we doing instead of going on today? You know, that's not the right thing to do. I'm not trying to embarrass you. I'm not trying to bring shame to you, but you're bringing shame to yourself. So, you might want to cover that. You might want to rectify that situation because I don't want you to be embarrassed. I don't want you to be brought to an open shame. So I'm trying to help you out. But then we don't do that. Hear ye. It don't make no sense. Receive this, though. For every individual looking to bring embarrassment, there are two more set to honor and protect. For every one individual trying to embarrass you, there's two more behind that got your back and you don't even know it. You are out of it. But there's two people standing behind that one person like, it ain't going to happen today. Noah's real sons, they were like, no, that ain't going to happen today. Okay, he drunk, great. I tell you what, we'll take your word for it. Because I don't even want to see him like that. He had a moment. I don't even want to see him like that. I'm not going to even let what he did to himself bring a reproach in my eyes. Y'all ain't even hearing what I'm saying. I'm not going to even let what he did bring a reproach in my eyes. I'm not going to look at him that way. I know that he did it to himself, but I'm not going to look at him with that lens because it'll mess me up if I do that. So I'm not going to even look at him that way. Let me recover him instead of expose him. That makes sense. Follow me here. Instead has an outcome. Instead has an outcome. Instead of averting his eyes, Ham sought to further compromise his father. Listen here, there is clarity in indiscretion. Y'all hear me? There is clarity in indiscretion. Oh, if you got some indiscretion, it's going to be loud and clear. If you don't care about nobody, it's going to be loud and clear. If you can't keep some things to yourself, it's going to be loud and clear. You always know somebody who ain't got no discretion because they want to tell everything about everybody. You ain't got no kind of decency. I don't care if you did know it. That wasn't even yours to tell. Huh? There's some information that you know because you was eavesdropping or you saw it or whatever have you, and it was for somebody else to know. Here you go ruining it. It might have been a good thing. It might have been a surprise. Ooh, you know what they're going to do? Can't wait. Or let it be something negative. Ooh, don't let it be something negative. Got you now. Remember all those spankings you gave me? You drunk now. Remember that time when you tried to correct me and I was wrong? You're drunk now. I'm finna show everybody how wrong you are. I got you now. Made no sense, but there is clarity in discretion. Anytime somebody doesn't have discretion, you're going to see it. They're going to tell on themselves. They can't stop from even telling on themselves. They can't keep their own secrets. Make sense? Malicious divulgence ultimately implicates the disclosure. So anybody who says something maliciously against another person, they're actually revealing who they really are. If you're a gossiper, it's going to come out of you. If you're a critic, it's going to come out of you. If you're an encourager, it's going to come out of you. Huh? If you're positive, it's going to come out of you. If you're negative, it's going to come out of you. You're going to tell on yourself. But here's the thing about people that try and expose people. They be thinking they expose somebody. I got them now. You really telling everybody about you. Oh, you know what? You can't be close to me. Because I already know I'm going to have a moment. I want to talk to a couple real people in here be like, I already know I'm going to have a moment. I'm not going to sit up here and try and act with my saved and sanctified self like I ain't going to have a moment. So since you don't let it be known how much stuff you will tell, oh, you can't be close to me. Because I need some people that can see that I'm naked or hear about that I'm naked and don't even want to look. I need some people on my team that's going to hear that I done messed up. I done been messy. I done been drama. I done had all kind of stuff going on. But I need a couple people in my life that's going to say, I'm not going to even see you like this. That makes sense? How many people already know you're going to be messy? Oh, see, we got all the church folk in here. Not me. Imposterous. It's impossible. Not me. I'm saved. I'm sanctified. It's not going to happen. You're going to make a mistake. You're going to say something out of turn. You're going to have a moment. Somebody's going to make you mad, and that one time you ain't going to have your temperance on lock. And you're going to snap. And then everybody who really had an issue with you from before but just kept it online, they're going to be like, aha! Gotcha! I knew it! You ain't who you said you was. You said you was holy. You said that you had found grace in God's sight. But look at you now, you're drunk. What did you do with your harvest? We were supposed to have juice, but you wanted drink. Look at you now. All that time working just to get wasted. Anyway. All that time. But that's how people do. But we can't sit up here and point the finger outward because we know some of this stuff is in us too. I don't never like to do no message where the outsiders are always the enemies. Because sometimes I hear too much of that when we hear preaching. The outsiders are always the enemy. You always the one that ain't messed up. They after you. They looking to expose you. Who you looking to expose? They after you. Oh, for everyone. And I said it too. For every one person looking to expose you, there's two more that's looking to recover you, that's looking to cover your mess. Which one are you? Are you one of the two or you the one? Anyway, and there's always one. Yeah, man. What we are willing to show will actually tell on us. What we are willing to show will actually tell on us. Because truth be told, there are some things that are best left unsaid. The worst thing you can do in a relationship is tell them everything. I always use this example because we know it's a real thing. Now, if you had some outside experiences, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? You got in a relationship and you weren't saved always. And you had some outside experiences. What number is going to be okay for you? That's the one time where you don't want the Bible to come into play. Out of the mouth of two or three witnesses, let every word be established. You don't want two or three witnesses. No. You don't want nothing to do with the Bible. No. You know what I'm saying? There's some things better left unsaid. Okay, I know you had some experiences. I don't need to know the details. I don't need to know what y'all was doing. I don't need to know what happened. I don't want to look at you that way. No, you going to tell me everything because I want full disclosure. You want what? You want what? You want to know everything? Nah, you don't want to know everything. If I told y'all everything about me, boy, look at here. I'd be talking to these chairs. Huh? Look here. Talking to these chairs, be like, hey, chairs. But some things are better left unsaid. So on another note, Ham's actions conceivably, this is what really got me. Ham's actions conceivably reinstituted the seed of the scornful. Now, most likely existed before now, but all that stuff had been wiped out. And so he was like, oh, I remember that seed of the scornful. It's conceivably. It's like, I remember that seed of the scornful. It's not around anymore. Well, let me build this joker back up again. And he sat in the seat of the scornful. mocking, degrading, calling undue attention to a man who had a misstep. To a man who was, in that moment, defenseless. A man who had probably defended. Matter of fact, he defended for you. You only got on the ark. You got in the ark on his back. You got to where you are on their back, and now you just can't wait for them to fall. Huh? You wouldn't even be where you are. Some of us wouldn't even be where we are. We're just waiting for the one person who got us to where we are so we can bust them down. Because every time you're looking to ridicule, you're looking to step on people. Because you think people are your way up. Relationships will help you up. But people stepping on folks, it don't work like that. I'm better than you. And I'm better than you. And I'm better than you. Look how high and mighty I am. You ain't get, look, every time you think that you're making a person a stepping stone, you are in essence creating your own Tower of Babel. Never mind. Some of y'all will catch that for real. You acting like Nimrod. Stepping on folks, creating stepping stones so you can. And everybody you talk to, they talk your same language. Y'all think y'all getting somewhere. That's what happened. We think that we getting somewhere because we speak the same language. I'm saying that Nimrod, I think I could defy God. We're going to build a tower to heaven. Talking about folks. We speak the same language. Everybody had his mindset. They were all together. God, like, I got to break this stuff up. I got to break this stuff up. So when we do that, that's the kind of how we operate. We're trying to defy something by just build. We all talking the same crazy language thinking that we're going to defy order. Just because y'all speak the same language doesn't mean that you're going to defy order. Huh? I don't care how clicked up you get into an organization. You ain't going to tear the organization down because you clicked up. Ask the devil about it. He got clicked up in heaven. Y'all know God ain't really who he say he is, right? Huh? Ain't really who he say he is. Man, please, if I ain't do praise and worship for him, man, please. You know what I'm saying? You know, y'all only worship because I be playing, I'm hot on the keys, you know what I mean? Y'all only really worship because I got all these jewels, you know what I'm saying? I think that the devil might have been the first rapper. I really do. You know what I'm saying? He might have been the first rapper. He had all them chains and, you know, his body was encrusted with jewels. You know, he had a chain, you know what I'm saying? He had his Jesus piece. Let me stop. I'd be like, why you had a Jesus piece? I'd be asking the same thing about the rappers. Like, why you got it? Right? I'm diamond infested. You know? Okay. That's wonderful. It's crazy. But, you know, he did all those things and he thought that he was the one. So he started talking to other people. And other people started joining in with him. Other angels started joining. So don't think that you can't get caught up in this mess if you're not being watchful. You can't get caught up in some mess because somebody saw an error and now you're going to be like, oh, yes, we're going to expose them. So the next time you get ready to expose somebody, think about it. Think about who's really being exposed. Who really got exposed? When Noah awoke, I'm almost out your way. When Noah awoke, he knew he'd been violated. He woke up, he came to himself, he came to his sisters. Man, I can't believe this. Ham's contempt had now been revealed. It had now been revealed. And Noah saw it. He woke up to it. He cursed his son's son. That's how hurt he was. That's how distraught he was. That's how angry he was. He cursed. You can go and look in history and all that stuff. How can I get it, but he cursed. You got to think about that. He cursed his son's son because of what was done to him. Indiscretion conceived a curse. indiscretion conceived a curse. I just want you to think about that. Last word. Full disclosure provides necessary information so that informed decisions regarding a concern can be made. That makes sense? So full disclosure provides necessary information so that informed decisions regarding a concern can be made. But truth of the matter is, we've been given the disclosure, full disclosure if you would, of this scenario because we see what happened with Noah. Noah got drunk. Noah was peerless. Noah was by himself. And he abused his harvest and he became intoxicated. And we see the error in that situation. So now we can look at it and say, you know what, since I have that information, I'm going to be more careful with my harvest. But then we see the other side of it, that we have to be careful with our relationships. Be careful with who has access into our tent. And who's really trying to expose us. Because sometimes you think it's the enemy trying to expose you. And sometimes it's the one you call son. It's the one you call friend. It's the one that you call brother. It makes sense, the one you call sister. We must be careful how we handle the harvest. Opportunities reveal inventory. They present existing and pre-existing conditions. Think about that. Present and pre-existing conditions are revealed in the inventory of an opportunist. You're going to show what you really made of. You're going to show what was really in you. I don't know whether he had contempt for his father before then, but I know he had it once he saw an opportunity. I can't say whether something had happened before because we don't have the history, but I know when he had an opportunity, I see what he did. What are you doing with your opportunities? Lastly, do not allow access or an accident to ruin a relationship. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? Don't allow access or an accident to ruin a relationship. He had access, and because he had access, it ruined a relationship. His father had an accident. It was something that probably didn't happen on purpose. Whether it was purposeful or not, it wasn't something that we had seen before or that we see after. An anomaly of sorts, really. He had a misstep. But you let an accident ruin a relationship. A mishap that ruin a relationship. Something that, okay, I'm not talking about repeated offense. I'm not talking about somebody that was abusive. But you caught him slipping one time. And you might not have even been looking for it, but you saw it. But what did you do when you saw it? Did you look to injure or did you look to recover? I pray this morning after hearing this word that the next time you see somebody who's out of it, that you choose to cover them instead of expose them. Because just imagine if every time you made a mistake, God exposed your nakedness. This ain't the one you're going to be giving praise on. But this is the type of message that you got to think and start considering because it's so easy to look outward. Oh, I know some people trying to expose me. And truth be told, there are. You can't do anything about the ones that's going to expose you because they're going to wait until you're out of it. You can be on your guard all you want to. They're going to wait until you're out of it. And once you're out of it, they're going to try and expose you. But for everyone that tries to expose you, remember, there's some people that really got your back. I'm just glad that I serve a God who's got me covered. I'm so glad that I serve a God who's got me covered. He got me covered so much, I'm telling you, I'm addicted to that thing. He said, he don't even look at it. He said, I'm blotting out all your sins because I don't want to see you like that. Aren't you glad that you serve a God that says, I'm wiping out all your mess because I want to see you as my son. I don't want to see you like that. So God saw you in your intoxication with sin. And he said, I don't want to see you like that. He said, I will remember your sins no more. And he saw them. Hold on, wait a minute. I said he saw them. But he said, I'm going to remember them no more. Imagine if Ham would have been a godly man and said, I don't want to remember your sin. I seen it. I saw it, but I don't want to remember your sin no more. I could just cover it. I saw it. I saw it. He didn't have to let his brothers do it. His brothers never even had to know. There's some things that's been told about you that nobody had to know, but somebody told. There's things that you know about some people that shouldn't nobody else know, but you had to go and run your mouth. You had to go tell everybody what they did to you. Don't ruin relationships because of access. Don't ruin relationships because of an accident. Choose to cover. God covered up your mess. Cover up somebody else's. Give God a praise right there.